Welcome back to another edition of Ravens Roundup. Today is March the 27th, 2023, and we stopped numbering the episodes and stopped giving them topics. We just get them dates because this has turned into a regularly Monday scheduled show, just like primetime TV. And because of the events of today, I think we're going to have a good show coming for you. So let me start bringing the guests in so we can get into it and get the different opinions about what has transpired throughout today. Today may be a day that goes down in infamy in the flock. First up, we're going to have Rodney and Jose. What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you for coming through.
Hey, Coach, you know, these topics that we're going to discuss are so hot. I'm going to need a sip from my sip to tally. What we call it? What are we calling this? Calling this chalice? Are we calling this
chalice? Mike calls it chalice.
I need
the chalice.
But let's see. Let's get everybody in here and see if they see how their taste buds feeling.
But I also had to just to wash it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ravens Roundup mug.
Look at that.
And I can tell you
going out. How the water tastes out of that?
Mine tastes a little like cold. Tears.
What it taste like, B?
Tastes like tears.
Appreciate it. Bring Chris in. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
I got my stress relief tea in here.
What you got it in?
You know, the little sip to tally, nice little gift from the man himself.
Appreciate it.
And happy birthday to Chris.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're gonna toast you, Chris, in just a second. We can toast you in just a second. Hello.
Oh, what's going on?
What's good with you?
Oh man, listen, you just caught me enjoying some refreshing vegan water from Lake Minnetonka.
That's that good vegan water we just spoke about.
Vegan water.
But before we get started, that was a great. I appreciate everybody. You know, purple Kool-Aid.
I see my daughter.
You want one? You want one? You got to become a Gunslinger Patreon, and that'll be on the way to your crib. This is one of the perks of being a Gunslinger Patreon. Your purple Kool-Aid cup. Well, chalice. Calling it a chalice. Chalice. And when our sixth member joins in, I'm sure he'll have his chalice with him also. So that's what we're gonna do. But first off, happy birthday to Chris.
Happy
birthday,
Chris.
I
appreciate it.
Have another blessed year around the sun and many, many more to you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm 35. I'm finished.
You're getting older than that. You stop.
Your official athlete.
Man.
But nah, he said he broke some ankles last week.
Oh.
I did. Might be my last one.
Okay. So before we get started, let's take care of the housekeeping. And Hendo, tell everybody where they can find you, you know, if they don't have you, if they're not subscribed to you already.
All right, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at The Rogue Pod. Everything's all the same, spelled the same way. You can also find me in audio form, wherever you get your audio podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever you find it at. I'm on the audio side. Make sure that when you go, you give me 5 stars to help me build on that side, because you've already helped me on the YouTube side. Let's just do it on audio. Appreciate y'all.
Chris, yourself?
You catch me on Twitter at Chris Just Joking or at a Deep Cover podcast and also Deep Cover YouTube page. And I've done a wide receiver top 7 wide receiver list on there, so you can check that out. And Deep Cover, we should be dropping one this week.
Got you. And that's with Michael Crawford and Kerry. What's Kerry Latin? Stevenson.
Yeah, Kerry Stevenson.
So those guys potentially are supposed to be, and I think still are going to join us for draft coverage. So we'll have us 6 plus those 2 guys to give you. I ain't gonna say A to Z, but A to maybe like M for draft coverage. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting everybody's information in the description, and you can go from there. Jose and B.
Yeah, Chris also gonna have to do a top 7 QB list. It looks like here. We'll find out. But you can find us every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time on the Lunch Break Hot Take channel. We do the LBHT show at that time, followed by the Overtime show, which you can find on patreon.com/LBHT show. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And also, we have an audio podcast like all of us here. In fact, you can find all of the audio podcasts at lbhtshow.com. If you're looking around you, and it's too hard to keep all these names. There's so many shows. Just go to lbhtshow.com and you will find a list of all their podcasts right there, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But like Hendo said, make sure you leave a 5-star review.
Great. And all of us have merch, and I'm going to give you a little sample of the merch that I have on my show. And we were just talking about this just a minute ago. The athlete shirt is what I know I am. I'm not in denial anymore. I still think I can go cross people over and run bases and maybe throw the football, but man, my body hurts afterwards. So I just don't do it. But I'm officially done. Also, if you want to be like B, get your Sip the Tally beanie. You want to be like me and Jose, you Sip Ravens Roundup mug. You also got the Sip the Tally hat. So all that merch plus more is on the site, and that link is in the description also. All right. Now, all the formalities out the way. Y'all can't leave once we start doing it now. We finna get into it. First up, unless you've been living under a rock. Oh, we got donations. Hold on. Let's see. 86 Ghosts donated. We all know who that is.
Shout out to Bazel.
Let me see what he said. Bookmark that last Streamlabs. Y'all donate to YouTube coach 401k ASAP. He said donate to my 401k ASAP. Appreciate you, B. Appreciate it. Spawn jumped in.
Salute
Donated
Spawn.
8. He said the funeral proceedings for Baltimore Ravens have officially started. Let's begin. And the praying hands emojis. So if you want your comments read, there's a pinned comment. Click that. That'll take you to my Streamlabs page, and you can donate that way. Also, there's it's not up there yet, but it'll be up here in just like 3 seconds. There's a QR code down over that way somewhere.
Oh, there you go.
That way somewhere.
$ IvanEvans.
You can scan that. It'll take you to the Cash App. If you want to donate that way, please do so. All right. Now, all the formalities out the way, we can get into business with what y'all here for. Let me bring up my chat box, and then we can ride out. Again, appreciate you, 86 Ghosts and Spawn. Thank you guys for the donations. And let's see who's here first before we get started. Blackula 88, I see you. Jane Doe Fridays, who is a sponsor in the new show that we talked about. Matter of fact, let's talk about that before we get started. I debuted a new show today. It was called Ravens Daily with Coach Evans, and it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to start with. And like I was telling Brandon before we started, and I was telling B before we started this too, I was completely nervous. I was like almost shaking because I thought I was gonna have to talk for 30 minutes. I didn't think nobody would call in. I did have one guy that called, that direct message told me he was gonna call in, but I didn't think nobody would call in. I didn't think the people would show up at 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was blown away by the calls, by the people. The chat box was on fire. Matter of fact, when I first logged in, the chat box was already spicy. It was already spicy.
Yeah.
And what made it great was Steven's call at the end. The fact that he had opposite opinions of us, I loved it. Because you don't want everybody amen in what you say. You need a different point of view, whether you agree with it or not. You need a different point of view. And him, along with other guys, and gals, girls, I'm sorry, they spoke their opinions, and it came out well. And I think today we were off to a good start. Hopefully, going forward, we'll move forward. I don't know if you guys had a chance to catch that with work schedules, but what you think?
I watched it. It was dope. It was dope. I told you, I said, yeah, he has coach. He's got success with that show right there. That's gonna be. Listen, people they love to be heard, man.
Mhm.
They love to be heard. And I think everybody needs. That's another reason to subscribe to the channel. It's another reason to tune in because I can promise you one thing. On Lunch Break Hot Take, we will not be doing call-ins. If you want to be heard, if you want to vent about us, you call coach's line to complain about us.
It's there for that too, if you want to do that. But yeah, Chris, you know, he took his hiatus for his birthday. So did you even know that was jumping off today?
I did. I was actually about to take a nap because I had an early morning and I took the day off. Took my daughters to school, and I took a little old man stroll since I'm 35 now. So I took a little old man stroll in the morning by the water, and then I came back home, and I was like, let me take a little nap. And then my phone just started buzz, 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 buzz. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, damn.
Hey, they went at Harbaugh's neck. But the first topic. Lamar Jackson. And if you don't know, I was getting ready to watch Harbaugh's presser at the owners meeting. No, I'm lying. I knew it was coming up, and I decided to do our guy, Jose, Charlie Jones, a Patreon video. And so the presser started, and like the whole time the presser's going on, my watch is, but I'm trying to stay locked into doing the video because I don't want to get sidetracked. And so I turn the video off, and I see all heck is broken loose with Lamar in his tweet. You know what his tweet was about wanting to leave and ask for requested a trade on March the 2nd, which was 25 days ago. And then Harbaugh trying to answer these questions. He say he didn't see it, and which possibly he didn't at the time because it came out right when he started. So what'd you think about that, Hendo?
Listen, I thought that I loved it. You know, I felt it was a strategic move. And he was like, your boy about to come on. Let him get about 5 words in. And he just threw that tweet out there. Now, I know that it caused a lot of confusion amongst the fly. Now, you got two sides battling, but hey, he had to put his truth out there. Like, look, I'm tired of y'all saying, Lamar, pick a side. Either accept the money or get out of here. And he's letting everybody know. I asked for a trade on March the 2nd. Mm-hmm. It's been 25 days. There has been no action. Now, I was told by your general manager and head coach that when players ask for trades and they don't want to be here, we oblige and we help them to move on. And I'm pretty sure that by now they could have facilitated a trade to get Lamar somewhere else. But Harbaugh's in there shucking and jiving, talking about, oh, no, I love Lamar. We hang out. You know, he babysits some kids and he's going to be here forever. We're building an offense around him. Like, come on, bro. But I just love the fact that Lamar is finally, I think, standing up for himself and putting out his version of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Chris?
Yeah, so that part, I liked it. I'm not a big John Harbaugh guy. I think just the way he handles injury situations, not even just Lamar, but like the Ronnie Stanley situation where he was kind of putting heat on Ronnie to play. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, you're supposed to have your players back. You know, if they're hurt or if they're injured, not even hurt, if they're injured, don't put him out on blast like that. Right. So to kind of see him squirm in his seat with all those reporters around him, that was satisfying to see. But the news itself, it was hurtful. I'm not gonna lie, it was hurtful. Because you know I'm a Ravens fan, so of course I want him to stay here. But at the same time, this is business,
right? You
know, so I understand where Lamar's coming from because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, he feels like he's worth a certain number.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell him he's not.
Right.
You know, if one team doesn't agree with him, then that's their prerogative. But it's on him to try to get to that next situation with a team that does agree with him or will give him what he's happy with.
It only takes one to believe him. It only takes one. Jose?
I love it, man. Look, I mean, like Chris said, like as a Ravens fan, you know, no, I prefer Lamar stay here. But, you know, I love the fact that, you know, Lamar isn't just taking the BS lane down. He's not letting them control the narrative. And it's not, you know, listen, I think this is I think they're trying to play chess. with the media. You know, they're leaking now. Ravens are obviously leaking out stuff at this point. That's obvious. You know, you got Ian Rappaport, who didn't know anything about the trade, this trade request the whole time, and then after Lamar announces that he requested a trade, he comes out and says, "Oh, well, they were negotiating up until last week. You know, despite the trade request. Yeah, that's because you got on the phone with your boys and they told you, right?" So Lamar is kind of exposing those things, and I think it's a great move after, they quote unquote let him test free agency after, a lot of us believe that there might be some collusion going on there. That's a great way to say, hey, well, you know what? Actually, I don't even want to deal with you guys, right? I'm letting everybody know, like, the Ravens aren't even going to be an option, so that's fine. So let's see how that affects these other owners and how they approach Lamar, because it's one thing if you're saying, hey, okay, we're going to not really go after Lamar. We're going to give you a chance to sign your guy, but now he's saying he didn't want to be with you. Well, I mean, hey, we waited long enough. You had your shot. Now we're going to go and make a play for him. I think things are going to start. I always thought things were going to start to kick up after the draft, but this just adds another wrinkle into it. So good for him.
Exactly. B.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Not only just him asking for the trade right when Harbaugh was starting his press conference, but just him asking for the trade in general. I told Jose from the very first season that he was in Baltimore, they're doing him like Carolina did Cam Newton, and I'm glad that he's standing up for himself. After the team's been putting out all this stuff about him, and letting people just kind of talk about how he's holding the team hostage and kind of letting it be out there that, oh, well, Lamar's the reason we're not going after anybody in free agency. Well, look, man, you had 5 years of Lamar on the team. You didn't do anything to improve the offense. The offense deteriorated around him for the whole 5 years. And now with Lamar having 1 foot out the door, your answer was still Nelson Aguilar. So he shouldn't be talking to them, period. They don't deserve to have Lamar. They had their shot. They effed it up. Let him move on somewhere else where they're actually going to build around him. I was looking for my guy Ashanti. I thought, I don't see him in the chat. I was going to, tell you drop the link. I know he would have a lot to say to me tonight. With that outstanding organization over there about to let the 26-year-old MVP walk out the door. I figured he had a lot to talk about.
Somebody say he had a debt to settle up.
Mo.
He might be working some overtime.
As far as me, man, I'm glad that he's letting everybody see some part of what's going on, because with them both sides saying, Lamar asked us to keep it quiet. We're going to, do this behind closed. We're going to keep it between us and whatnot. They still, like Jose said, they still was putting out information. They just wasn't putting it out. They were using their minions to do it. And so now this is a strike back. Now, whether it's a negotiating tactic or whether he's legit for real about it, who's to say? Because in business get messy. It get messy. And if they come through with what he wants, or they actually settle on something that they both agree on, all this stuff will be water on the bridge. But I think right now it's to the point where if it's this far from being a deal breaker, like completely, like he won't come back. Like he'll sit out and maybe play when he has to, but then his if he get a broke thumbnail, he done. And I think I told somebody on the show earlier today, if he had a contract, he would have tried to play toward the end of the year. Tried to play. But with no contract and with no uncertainty coming up, I got to take care of me. I got to look after what's best for me and my family.
See, fans don't like it when the players handle their business.
Exactly.
They never do.
Salute to A6 Ghost. Did you read the other donation that was up there?
I'm finna get to it.
Okay.
It was from
that was a big one. I didn't want you to forget that one.
I see you, Ray. I know he ain't coming to the Panthers. They already made their move, but I want to see him anywhere.
Oh snap! My eyes are getting bad, Jose.
I missed
the zero.
Don't worry. I wasn't gonna let you forget. That's why I asked you. Did you?
I missed a zero. That's it right there. Thank you, Julian.
Salute.
I appreciate it. He said this crew has been getting us through all of Lamar and Ravens contract craziness. Thanks for getting everyone together and making us laugh in these disappointing times. I appreciate you, Julian. When I looked over there, I saw it. I didn't see the other zero, and I was gonna get to it. I wasn't gonna leave it out, but I just was trying to let them finish their points before I got to it. Again, appreciate you, Julian. And if you want to be like Julian and get your comment read and for the pop up right above this shoulder, hit the pin comment. You follow the directions. Everybody, we all grown. We know how to follow directions. And 86 Ghosts just dropped 12 more. He said Lamar made less than Taysom Hill. How is that even possible? The Ravens been robbing, pay 8. He ain't lying.
Facts.
At one point, people were saying, not a lot of Ravens, but people in the NFL were saying Taysom Hill was just as good, if not better than Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what got him that contract.
Yeah.
Which is what got him that contract.
With like 5 voidable years on it.
But you know what? The Saints are always in cap limbo, and they figure a way out of it.
Every time.
The Saints like a snake. They always get out of it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to topic number 2. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. There was a report that Meek Mill texted Robert Kraft 2 or 3 days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and told him Lamar wanted to come to New England. And then Robert Kraft told Meek Mill I think somebody asked Robert Kraft that today in a meeting, and Kraft said that's a Bill Belichick decision.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about that, Brian?
I think it's amazing that everyone in every walk of life knows what Lamar wants to do. I don't listen to Meek Mill for anything, including his music. So I wouldn't.
Not even dreams and nightmares.
It's all right.
All right.
Like no, I mean I like, but I've heard it too much at this point.
Yeah.
Give it a break, and then I'll come back to it. But listen, I mean I don't really buy the report. I mean, I know Bill Belichick likes mobile quarterbacks. He coveted Cam for a long time because mobile quarterbacks kill his defenses. I don't believe that Meek Mill had the inside track and is texting Robert Kraft about it. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to say on that one. Right. Bill's Kodak.
Yeah, Bill's Kodak.
Yeah. My boy went out of that.
Like, huh?
I like Yak though. Yak got some songs that's really catchy.
Yeah.
They really catchy. To me, they catchy.
I've never heard any of them.
That's fine. You ain't heard us either, so let's keep it moving.
Marco G.
Appreciate you, Marco G. He says he donated 5. He said, I know people say it's a money issue, but is that at this point, I find it hard to believe that it's not a bit personal. I agree. Negotiating as a QB without an agent for a good chunk of money, it makes it too personal and emotional, in my opinion. And that's true.
I honestly thought when he first said it, he was talking about on the owner side, because if we're being real, like money shouldn't be an issue at all. Like, what are you holding on to the money for? You're not paying anybody.
Right.
It's not that they can't pay him. They just don't want to pay him. That feels personal to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know who said it, but I heard it said when you have an agent and the agent negotiates for you, the owners and the GM can kind of say things about the player to the agent to kind of, negatively. But when you're not donating, when you're negotiating for yourself, they got to say that to you.
Yeah. They got to look
you in the face and say, we worried about your eating habits or your sleeping habits or who you're hanging out with. That look you in your eye and say that.
That tells me that we give these front offices too much credit, because all we're saying is be professional, right? You don't know how to be tactful in what you say, right? But you want to deal with people that you buddy up to, and you're comfortable around them saying things that you wouldn't say to that person's face. That's kind of cowardly, if you ask me, right?
Well, the other part of it too is Lamar deals with criticism all day, every day. And this whole dynamic goes both ways. So, hey, we're concerned about your eating habits. Yeah, I'm concerned you don't know what the hell you're doing with offense. I'm concerned you don't know how to draft a wide receiver. and it's going to be Eric DaCosta and Steve Bisciotti who don't know how to react to that.
And not to go off subject, but B, you just reminded me of something. Did anybody see what Doug Gottlieb said about Lamar?
Nobody's a Doug Gottlieb. We know what it is with him.
Basically, this
And he's a
clown
criminal.
said, people, you're worth what people are willing to pay you. And he tried to make sense of it by using a analogy about a guy that was trying to sell a piano. The guy wanted he wanted to sell a piano for $10,000. Well, the guy put the piano on an auction place that sells pianos for a low bid of $2,500. No, he says nobody offered the guy $2,500. So he went to the guy to try to get the piano, and the dude wanted $10,000. He was like, "Well, if nobody bought it for $2,500, why would I pay $10,000 for it? I mean, it's not worth $25,000. I mean, it's not worth $10,000 if nobody paid you for it." But he tried to use basically saying Lamar is like a piano. I mean, it's two totally different things.
Right.
And he's been a clown since he left ESPN. His career has went. I didn't even know he had a show until today. And he said that. And he just put Lamar in his SEO and was able to come up on my screen, and that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And that's it. He's just biting off the thing. So Living Legend says Doug Gottlieb is anti-melanated. And Living Legend also donated 3. He said the round table is lit. Appreciate you, Living Legend. Appreciate
you, man.
Appreciate it. But Chris, what you think about the Meek Mill, Robert Kraft, Lamar group text?
Man, Meek Mill got to go sit down somewhere, man. Like, stay out of this football business. Go fight somebody at a boxing event or something like that, or whatever he's doing these days. But I would hate to see Lamar in New England. Like, it's just there's no fit there. Like, it's just a black quarterback in New England.
Don't feel right.
You see what Jaylen Brown going through. I don't know if you know, Jaylen Brown wants out, and they probably the best team in the NBA. Jaylen Brown do not want to be in Boston no more at all. Hendo, what you think about the group text?
I mean, Meek Mill just wants some attention. He feel like he hasn't been in the spotlight enough. But I will say this: Bill Belichick loves Lamar. Like, he loves Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he would give Lamar freedoms that he has not with other quarterbacks to that point. So let's not rule it out that they will not go for him, especially if the owner's like, if we leaving it up to Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you the owner. You should know what you want to pay this guy. So apparently the checkbook's open if Bill Belichick wants it to. So we can't discount this organization not going in. I'd hate to see it, but
that's what I say. When
That
out of his mouth said it's up to Bill, that where it's smoke, there's fire.
He tired of seeing Josh Allen on top of that division. It's been a long time since the Patriots have been anything but number one.
Right. It
But listen,
seems like forever.
Anything but Washington. I'd hate to see it, but anything but Washington. I can't do Washington.
Honestly, and I'm not from the DMV area. I to me, it's anything but New England. I hate New England.
You're not close proximity to these.
That's what I said. That's why I'm not.
That would be brutal.
Anybody else want to chime in on this Meek Mill deal before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out, like, this right here, like this little rumor, that little comment from Robert Kraft. That's exactly why EDC and Harbaugh need to be telling Steve Bisciotti, look, this little blood pact that you have with the other owners to not pay quarterbacks. Don't trust these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do not trust them, because if they have an opportunity to get our quarterback, they will take it
in a heartbeat.
Right? In a heartbeat. And like that deal, that little pact that you guys had, deals are off. Like, you cannot trust these other owners. We can't be the team that was stupid enough to not sign their quarterback while everybody else is guaranteeing these huge numbers, these huge guaranteed numbers for their quarterbacks. We can't be that stupid.
Right. The thing is, it's about winning. And what's the contingency plan if you trade Lamar? Who's going to give you like a quarterback of that caliber? Even if you get if you do it with the Panthers, y'all got number 1, right? B.
Yes, sir.
Well, even if we trade with the Panthers, why would you trade potential off of almost a certainty? Like, you know what you got Lamar, even though he hadn't finished the last 2 years, but you kind of know what you got. Mm-hmm. But then you're gonna go draft Bryce or Stroud or AR. You don't know what you're getting.
You're not gonna throw Will in there, all right? But
No, not.
but you know,
Matter of fact, I'll go past.
worth
I'll
it.
go past 3 quarterbacks. You can Bryce,
Don't say
AR.
Dorian.
Hold on, Bryce, AR,
Stroud.
DTR,
Oh,
Hendon Hooker.
that's the answer right there.
Okay.
Now I'll say Will Levis.
Oh.
So essentially, Coach, what you're saying is the Indianapolis Colts are all in on Lamar.
And
That number 4. Thanks.
there are people saying that the Colts plane was in y'all area for a while. Is that true?
There were reports in Hendo's stream that they had the Mayflower logo and everything.
Like father, like son, donated 5. He said it's LJ versus Bashotti. EDC is stuck between a rock and a hard place and can't spend someone else's money without their blessing. And I'm glad he brought that up because I meant to make this a topic, but I forgot. But I'm glad he brought that up because I think, and y'all know, and as much as I dislike EDC and Harbs, I think they're in a position. I think you might have said it earlier on your show too, Endo. They kind of screwed. Because and I was telling my wife earlier, it don't matter what kind of deal EDC and Lamar make, he still got to take it to Bashotti to sign off on it. And if he say no, then what?
Yeah, this isn't on EDC. Like he can't make the decision to pay Lamar or not pay Lamar. That's not his choice. But he's the GM, so he's going to take the heat for it. And that's why Jose always says that he should quit. If they're not going to let him sign Lamar, you don't want to be the guy who let Lamar go.
Absolutely.
That's not gonna look great on the resume. And Steve Bashotti will not keep you around, even though he forces you to get rid of Lamar Jackson. He will not keep you around.
Yeah,
So
you'll get all the blame.
Yeah,
you'll get all the blame. Let me see.
For those who don't remember, Brian Billick, he had came out and said Brian Billick was gonna remain as a coach because Brian Billick had just signed an extension, and he fired him at the end of the season.
Yes. Well, and they still love Billick. Brought him back and everything.
Yeah, I remember Herm Edwards when he was coaching Kansas City, and there's all these scenes from him on, I believe it was on Hard Knocks that year. Like he's sitting back, the guy's talking to him about the kicker, and he's like, "He's fine. He's a kicker. He'll be fine." All this stuff. He was real relaxed because the ownership told him, "Hey, we know this is going to be a long rebuild. You're going to be here. Don't worry about it." And then he was out.
Thanks.
Adnan donated 10. He said, if it's Lamar versus the NFL machine, what's the end game? It's going to pain me to say this, but the NFL machine is undefeated. And if Lamar doesn't win, I think he's going to lose like completely, almost lose like Cap, like almost to the point where nobody going to mess with him.
Hey, Coach.
So, yeah, go ahead.
You see Avengers Endgame?
Yeah.
Or what was the one before that? Infinity War?
Infinity War. Mm-hmm.
And Doctor Strange? He held up that one finger?
Uh-huh.
It only takes one.
Yep.
It only takes one to be a revolutionary. And somebody brought that up earlier about Lamar being Kaepernick 2.0. The difference is, for one, there's no character concerns about Lamar. And for two, he's way more talented. You can't tell me that listen, even if you blackball Lamar, you can't tell me there's not going to be one desperate owner in the NFL that says, "Hey, this guy can help our team." They're gonna look at Goodell and be like, "F you," and all the stuff you stand on. He coming into the scene,
all right,
and it's gonna be Stephen Ross.
That's the what? Texans?
That's the Dolphins. That's the OG. That's the OG.
Well, they got to deal with Tua. What they're gonna do with Tua?
They have a 5-year option on Tua that's worth $23 million. You don't think somebody will take a chance on Tua for 1 year for $23 million?
Yeah, you're definitely right. You're right. Jared just dropped 5. Let me get to it. It says people are funny. Lamar haters saying he doesn't deserve it or isn't worth the money, but they at home eating Vienna sausage and pork and beans.
Facts.
The thing with Lamar is it's like I said, I've never been even close to this kind of money. So just talking about it is amazing. But $32 million is a lot. I don't know if it's worth you going out there risking your career. But the thing is, $32 million, if managed right, can take you up into your later days if you manage it right. But I know everybody wants to get the most they can get while they can, because the NFL ain't promised to you past the day you drafted. Your first practice could be your last day in the league. So I understand, get as much as you can while you're in your window, but there's still a lot of money being thrown around. I'm not saying he should go play and be thankful that he gonna get $32 million. I'm just saying, to me, $32 million is a lot. But I'm not him.
He's made $32 million already. And,
yeah, I know.
And the thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration is Lamar turns down endorsement deals.
Mm-hmm.
So if he wanted to go make a quick $100 million, he could sign with any shoe company right now,
right,
and make $100 million. But he's not concerned with excess money.
Right.
As crazy as it sounds to us, because we all looking like, hey,
he probably should have turned down a shake weight too.
It'd be your own people. It'd be your own people.
And if it was just the shake weight, he probably would have. But it's the entire
gym, guys.
So,
Can't say
I'm not even mad at that. That
was funny to me.
Everything Lamar does, he has ownership in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I mean, even if we think it's ridiculous, hey, I thought the Snuggie was a stupid concept, right?
It took off, didn't it?
Right, it took off. Hey, I mean, he has a way of going about doing things, and I can respect that, man. I admire that, and he may not be making as much money as some other athletes right now, but I mean, he's doing good. I mean, if your mom is controlling, is handling your finances in your career and everything, and she says you're good, that's a huge weight off your shoulders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because usually you want to take care of your family, but if your family's saying, "Hey, you're good, don't worry about it," that's a lot of pressure off of you right there. So he can go out there and just do himself.
Yeah, y'all making fun of his shake weight. I mean, I give him credit for this trying and putting himself out there, but I don't hear nobody making fun of the Super Mario Brother boots. Everybody seem cool with that.
Hey, and I was just saying it being funny because I hope it take off. I wish him nothing but the best, but I was just being funny.
Listen, they joking, but it's gonna be some people in there come New Year's Day.
The funny thing is, it ain't even no shake weight.
It really ain't.
But Keelan dropped 10. He says Lamar gave his farewell to Baltimore today. This was not a negotiation tactic, but him officially telling the team he wants out directly himself. He doesn't want a fully guaranteed deal either. Yeah, I did see somebody report, maybe it was Rich Eyes. No, that was Shefty. Said that there's reports that he doesn't really want a fully guaranteed contract, and everybody's saying fully guaranteed but him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying fully guaranteed but him. He really hadn't said like what the number was or what he asked for, and EDC hadn't officially said what the Ravens offered him, but fully guaranteed is what we all seem to be, and I mean we all like the 4-letter people too, because they probably less informed than us sometimes. Think that what the deal is, and really the only person I really even go to that's like I trust what she say is Josina.
Yeah.
Like she was in the gym with Odell today while he was working out, so she got like the inside track with a lot of the players.
She was right behind Harbaugh, asking him 1,000 questions.
Oh, she was on. I'm glad you said that. Before I go to you, Jose, everybody was on Harbaugh's case about Lamar, and this clown that works for the Ravens kept trying to change the subject. What's the two dudes that work for the Ravens?
Brian Mink and
not Mink,
Downing?
but the black dude. No, the black dude.
The one that came from Washington, Brown.
Oh, Clifton
Brown.
He kept trying to change the subject from Lamar. I'm like, man, if you don't get your clown butt up out of here, we need the fire on this man right now to get some stuff done. And you keep trying to talk about Nelson Aguilar. We don't give a what about Nelson Aguilar.
Facts.
We don't get one flying flip about Nelson Aguilar at all, and we don't care about him. His news was over with 15 minutes after it happened.
Harps wasn't even turning around because she was behind him, and he was just like answering it like she was behind him. Usually, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's show some respect," but he was like, "Nope."
He's like, I wish this chick would shut up.
Yeah, I recognize that voice.
But then she moved.
I bet Lamar was at home laughing his butt off. That joker was squirming. He couldn't wait for that press to be over. When that dude said last one, You can see a relief, like his shoulders went down and everything.
Man, I saw smoke coming from his shoes when they done.
Coach, he went and grabbed one of these afterwards.
He needed it. He needed it. And
So where's my chalice?
fill it up with the strongest of the strong, even if he don't drink. But what y'all think about that, Jose and B?
The press conference?
No, let me see. What about the super chat I just had? Let me see. What that question that again?
Oh, you saying it wasn't a negotiation tactic? It was him saying goodbye.
Yes.
I think it is a tactic, right? If the Ravens came out today and said, "All right, look, you win, Lamar. Okay, like you got us. You held out. We didn't think you would hold out this long. We'll pay you." He's good because Lamar is not taking this personal, right? Like that's why I keep saying, like Lamar is a businessman, and when players handle their business, people don't like it, but this is what it's like to be a businessman, right? You're not putting your emotions into it, but they're doing dirty tactics. He's doing dirty tactics. I don't think he's getting emotional about it at all. I think they're getting more emotional about it than he is, because he is. I think he's good where he's at, right? But if they break tomorrow and say, "All right, man, we're gonna pay you," he don't have any. I don't think he has anything against Harbaugh or Facade or any of them. He'll say, "Okay, cool. If it doesn't work out, okay, that's fine too. I just want to get my money."
Right. B?
I think that I agree with the commenter. I think it was him saying goodbye, saying I'm done with Baltimore. And to Jose's point, I don't think he has a personal problem with anybody in the organization, but I think he's tired of the way they are handling their business. The reports are they're not anywhere close to his number. I mean, I don't know how true those are, but we know they haven't reached his number, right? And he asked for a trade prior to them tagging him. They went ahead and tagged him anyway, and they're just kind of they're dragging this whole process out. They're not doing anything at all to improve the offense, and now we know that's not because of him. They're just not doing it. And I think that at this point he's just tired of trying to force something to work when they don't really want it to work. So I think he's just saying, I had a great 5 years here. Love John, love EDC, but I'm done. I want to move on.
Got you. What is, and this is not on the docket, I'm throwing this out there. What is, in your opinion, what's Lamar's worth, Chris?
The franchise. Just give him the whole team. Tell Steve Bisciotti it's over. I mean, seriously, it's like they played a stupid game, and they're basically winning a stupid prize right now, because when we go back a few years to Josh Allen's extension, and I'm like, oh, Lamar's is going to happen. Like, any day now, it should be happening. And it seems like they didn't want to give him either the Mahomes deal or the Josh Allen deal. Now, you got to have the wherewithal.
Both will be bargains right now too, Chris.
Exactly. And you got to look towards the future and be like, look, this dude, even if we give him over Mahomes, this is going to be a deal in a few years. Just you look at how the QB market goes. Just like the wide receiver market. Look at DJ Moore. DJ Moore got paid, and it looks like a deal now because the wide receiver market exploded. And it's the same thing with quarterbacks. It's not going to go down. It's the most important position in sports. It's not going to go down. And they were nickel and diamond during that time. And look where it got them.
So basically, they're fumbling the bag like Kay Adams fumbled you.
Yeah,
we off her.
Hey Adams, no more. Hey Kay Adams.
She fumbled the bag.
Yeah, she really.
Over.
What you think about it, Hendo?
Listen, Lamar Jackson is worth whatever number he puts down on the sheet of paper. Care if it's 300 million. I don't care if it's that 500 million that we'll talk about later. But what's happened is, like you said, when Josh Allen did his deal, that was a great opportunity for the Ravens to go in and say, hey, you know what? Let's get him. Let's do him now. Let's just make it similar to what Josh is getting. Maybe give him a little bit extra, because we know supposedly each and every time the next quarterback kind of resets them up. Now, I don't know what the Ravens' end game is, because if you look at it, you franchise tag him this year.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 quarterbacks on the docket looking to get paid the next year. What do you think is going to happen to the quarterback market? It's just going to keep going up and up and up. Now, even if they don't reach Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed money, it's going to be close.
Yep.
And no matter what happens, you're going to have to beat it. So you're delaying the inevitable for another year. How does that make sense when you could have signed him back then for when he asked for about $40 million a year? And y'all was like, 40 mil, we can't do that. Now we're looking at what's Aaron Rodgers getting this year? 60?
Somewhere around there.
So
Some
we're
crazy number.
60, he's getting 60 million this year. So we're looking between 50 and $60 million that they're going to pay a quarterback. They're looking to give Justin Herbert an extension. I just saw across the ticker, the Eagles are starting talks with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So then that means Joe Burrow's going to be like, listen, I need to step up to the plate as well. So what are the Ravens going to do? I guess they're telling you, and they've shown you through their actions, they never believed in Lamar Jackson. They didn't think that he was going to develop as a passer, and they had no interest in building a team around him. Because even to this day, now they can use the salary cap as an scapegoat if they want to. They're still not putting anybody on offense to help this man out. So what happens when Lamar leaves? Who are you going to bring in here that's going to lead an offense with James Prochet and Tylan Wallace? Pew, pew.
I don't know why you said James Prochet ain't gonna be on this team.
Well,
Tylan Wallace ain't gonna be on this team either.
my man
I'm
keep
sorry.
catching strays. Why my dog keep catching strays?
I'm sorry, Joe Burrow.
Because he won't go away.
Somebody's got to hand out water.
First of all,
Hey, what would be better
he's
for him to
leader.
hand out water in, Jose? What would be nice
Yes.
for him to hand out water in?
Well, there are 2 options. One, there's nice sip to tally chalice. Okay. Get you one of those. Patreon.com/sip2tally.
Mhm.
Also, the Ravens Roundup mug. Look how clean that is. Look at that. Get some of that in your life, okay? Where can I get that?
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
So, what is it?
Water's still cold.
Somebody just said our cap is tied up. Why is our cap tied up? Why is our cap tied up? Because we brought in a $70 million safety, and we already had a safety, and we plan on drafting a safety. Like we spend money in all. Who are we paying? Since you say our cap is tied up, the cap is capped.
We're paying guys that we can do their job for the most part.
Right.
We're paying Boyle 7, 8, 9 million, Ricard 7, 8, 9 million, and it's guys that I think with an NFL team you need the top end guys to get paid, and your low end guys to be next to nothing.
Right.
If you have too many people in the middle, you'll never have a top end guy. You just have a middle of the road team.
So my question is, how does New Orleans keep doing it? And I keep seeing all these comments about New Orleans keeps kicking the can down the road. Listen, this is an endless road. So what difference does it make? It's going to be 2045 and y'all going to be like, well, they keep kicking the can down the road. It's never going to stop. And they're always going to create cap room. First of all, y'all said, oh, Deshaun Watson, they stupid. Why would we follow the Cleveland Browns? How much money did the Cleveland Browns just create by redoing Watson's deal? They just got $34 million by making one move.
Yeah.
But the Cleveland Browns are so stupid, right? But the Cleveland Browns have their franchise quarterback. Do we?
Nope, not at all.
And also there was reports, like credible reports, that they were in on Darius Slay.
Right.
Yes.
So if you can be in on Darius Slay, then that means you can make things happen.
Yep.
If you can be in on a cornerback.
Oh no! To add to that, you just signed a linebacker to a $100 million contract, but yet still you want to get Darius Slay as well, but you can't pay your quarterback. But you want to talk to me about the salary cap and how we don't have money.
Go ahead, Brady.
And the top wide receivers on the market are making 11 a year.
11.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse for why they couldn't sign a better wide receiver than Nelson Aguilar.
No, B. This is their first move. Remember, they're going to add even more. That's what they've shown over the years.
And he said that they're definitely drafting a receiver.
In what round though?
Probably the sixth.
Fifth.
But that's one thing. It's like, how many times are y'all gonna fall for that? Oh,
Hey,
well,
what
it's
can we do
just
about
like it's just like Madden. You cannot defend it. It's just like Madden. I hate to take the detour into gaming here, but when I still cared about Madden, every single year, they would put out a beta, for certain people, and then they put out these videos, and everybody be like, "Yo, this looks like trash." This is, and they're like, oh no, it's just the beta. They're gonna fix this. They're gonna fix that. They're gonna fix this. And then when the game comes out, it's the exact same game that you saw 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
And they would do this every single year. And every single year in Baltimore, it's like, yeah, no, DeMarcus Robinson is just the first move. Nelson Aguilar is just the first move. Hopkins is still available. They calling about Hopkins. They said so.
When they work out Justin Blackman, y'all gonna get so hyped.
I even beside her. I let her.
He's only 29.
Right.
I heard he's on step 11.
Hey, you know who's gonna be wide receiver 1 for us next year?
Ooh.
Josh Gordon.
He's killing it in the XFL.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
He's smoking the XFL.
Goddamn XFL.
But the crazy part is they had a chance to sign him before.
Right.
Yeah.
Keelan dropped 5 again. I appreciate you, Keelan. He said, he told him March 2nd he wanted to get traded. That was a negotiation tactic. But then the Ravens ain't stepped up the money. He wants out for real. I believe he wants out. But I think if they come and say, hey, he go 200 and what Watson got 230.
Yeah.
If they come and say he go 231 million, I think all that'll be he'll hook him, and we'll be business as usual. It's about money.
I think that was true to a point, but I don't think he gonna hug Nelson.
Man, no, man, I was say Mandela. No, indeed. He like if they get if they sign him, I think that open up room for them to make a run at somebody of significance.
Who?
There ain't nobody of significance out there.
Coach. Okay, Coach. So they said
Listen.
The Arizona Cardinals. Listen.
They got money for him right now.
The Arizona Cardinals said, I want a first-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. The Ravens like, see, rich for my blood, can't do nothing for you. Then they said, oh, we might want a second-round pick for him. They're like, we ain't got it. Now they talk about a 5th and a 6th, and the Ravens are hellishly quiet.
Well, I think if they sign Lamar, then they're forced to change the way of thinking, right? Because now you are tied to him. Your career is tied to Lamar at that point. Like you have to be all in on him. There's no other choice.
And I agree with you. Believe that. No, I agree with you. But my thing is, DeAndre and OBJ could be gone by then.
Yeah. Hey, House said Julio Jones available.
That's why
Mike Evans still might be available. I mean, we gotta get aggressive, right? For sure, we have to get aggressive. But I think there's a move to be made out there if they want it.
You would like to believe that because you want to think that, hey, they can't be so stupid to almost lose Lamar Jackson and then still not build around him. But hey, the Eagles never built around Donovan McNabb, right? That's Carolina true. Never built around Cam Newton. They
they drafted a tall receiver.
Oh, or you could say, hey,
I'm just messing with you.
No.
I was expecting B's screen to go blank after that.
This is their philosophy. They don't believe that you need wide receivers. This is not about them being cheap. It's not about them not knowing what they're doing. It's not about incompetence. Mm-hmm. They just think that wide receivers are not important for them. They know they're important for everybody else. That's why they keep trying to stack up on corners. But they don't think that they're important in Baltimore. They think that they can still win with defense and running the ball and ball control. And, hey, tight ends are just as good a weapons as wide receivers. I don't think that if they sign Lamar, I don't think you're going to see any significant change in the way they run that team.
Because they showed us, listen, if we go back in history, they already showed us their blueprint. They said, hey, Flacco, we're going to sign you to the biggest contract ever for a quarterback, but we're going to take away your number 1 wide receiver and trade him to San Francisco.
And just in case, we're going to take away your number 2.
But at this point, I think that is incompetence. I hear you. You're saying, that's just a belief. That's being incompetent, right? You making
all this money, and go do it by yourself.
All right, that's not even just EDC. That's Aussie too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if you watch the Bullies of Baltimore thing, the philosophy hadn't changed.
Nope. No. The game's
philosophy has not changed. And granted, Shannon came through for us when he played, but Shannon was almost to the point where, like, not gonna say washed up, but he was in the down years of his career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the QB was it Dilfer was. Me and him probably had the same skill set.
Yep.
So all he had to do was last in the moments to throw a quick out and maybe a seam route to Stokely or Shannon Sharp and hand the ball off to
Jamal Lewis and Priest Holmes.
Man,
Yeah.
y'all would kill to draft another Brandon Stokely, boy.
Facts. Facts.
Charlie Jones.
Don't say it too loud. That's a secret weapon.
Oh my bad.
That's a secret weapon. Don't say that too loud.
My bad.
That's why we took 3 corners in the draft. First 3 picks.
Next topic. I don't think I missed the super chat or donation. I think we're straight. And if I missed it, put it in the chat box and let me know I missed it. Next one. Next topic. Is the brand tarnished? Is the brand tarnished? That's the next topic. The Baltimore Ravens brand tarnished. Like when Steve called in earlier, and if you missed it, go back and watch the first episode of Ravens Daily. He was the last caller. The first thing he mentioned was play like a Raven. And I asked him, I cut him off, which I don't tend to do a lot. I'm gonna let people talk, but I just wanted to ask him, what did that mean to him? And he explained what it meant to him. And it was basically you show up to work and you're a tough, guy, stuff like that. We all know what play like a Raven meant when Baltimore, when Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and them were there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that brand tarnished now? Is that the Raven with the B on the side? Is it not? Because it used to be considered. The Ravens are a great organization. They know how to do business. They know how to draft. They handle their business a certain way. Is the flock tarnished, Jose?
So here's a funny thing about that saying, right? Like Harbaugh coined that phrase, but he didn't build that culture, that play like a Raven culture. That happened before he got here, and he slowly kind of deteriorated that, right? The league changed. He wasn't able to coach up young talent, and they didn't get with the times. This whole play like a Raven thing, play with grit and all that stuff. That's just something to keep the fans loyal and happy and keep them from questioning why we're not like these other teams that are scoring 30 points a game, right? Well, why can't we be like the team over there? Well, why can't we make a Super Bowl run like them? Oh, we just play like a Raven over here. We play tough, and it may not be pretty, but it's us. Well, listen, man, like that's just excuse. And I heard that caller too, and I heard a lot of excuses. And I put in the chat: losers make excuses, right? And the Ravens make a lot of excuses why we don't win. Oh, we were in every game, but we lost every game. Right? That happened last year too. The brand, listen, that's not why the brand is tarnished. The brand is tarnished right now because the whole nation is watching you fumble the bag with Lamar. Mm-hmm. That's why it's tarnished, because the Ravens had a great reputation for being a place where players wanted to go. They're well-run organization, and they're all watching you with this guy who clearly is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you cannot get this guy signed. And you're looking at the rest of the team. It's just like, if he's not here, you're toast, right? So yes, the brand is tarnished, and if he actually, even if they keep him, people are going to be laughing at them for dragging this out. But if he actually walks out the door, good luck.
Right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean it definitely is tarnished. You just listen to podcasts of former players and even some who will have like 1 foot in the league, 1 foot out the league, and you hear them talk about how they feel like the Ravens are disrespecting Lamar. Like, you think that's just those dudes saying that? You don't think there's guys in the league, like current players right now, talking like that? And
like
saying,
Mike said, they all connected.
Yeah, and it's like Lamar is one of the most respected players in the league. Like, you don't see
all
dudes.
Sports.
Yeah, like you don't see peers coming up to dudes like, yo, I need your autograph. Unless it's like a Tom Brady. But Tom Brady played for thousands of years. And it's like Lamar, who was a young dude, and people were like in awe of him. Like, oh my God, can I get your jersey? Can I get your autograph? And to see the franchise be in this situation with a guy like Lamar is definitely not a good look. And it just, and then also with those report cards that came out too, that's all of that is
I forgot about that.
All of that is connected. And then when you look at the other players who wanted out, Hayden Hurst, Hollywood, you know, it's a long list. You know, you got
I think it's
Orlando
4.
Brown,
It's Orlando Brown, it's Hayden Hurst, it's Hollywood Brown, and now Lamar.
Chuck too. Chuck wanted out.
And he later recanted. Yep, he did ass out.
He wanted, and even J.K. was frustrated.
Yeah.
J.K. was frustrated with his
And
stuff.
J.K. might still be on the verge of saying, you know, hey, let me
bait and
you. And that's what I think I'll ask for one next. Hendo, go ahead.
You finish, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of stole my thing with the survey. That was going to be the thesis, the tip of my statement. But yeah, this brand is tarnished. To Jose's point, the mystique of the Ravens started well before John Harbaugh got here, and it just so happened that Billick fumbled the bag, and I blame some of it on Billick. But now that I think about it, it's the philosophy of the Ravens. You bring in a guy that took a team, and I know he had all that talent in Minnesota that set scoring records. And you come over here and you don't score a touchdown for 5 games.
Oh, that's right. He did coach that mouse.
Yes, he did. He was the offensive coordinator. So, that mystique was built before John Harbaugh came. Once John Harbaugh got here and rode the coattails of what the great players did, I knew that play like a Raven meant nothing. The draft that he drafted Bronson Kafusi and Kamale Correa. When we needed a running back and Derrick Henry and Joe Tooney were available for us to draft. And you went with these two, and it showed me that this man loves beta players. So back to the survey, how the players discredit this franchise as everybody think that it was top 5 and it ran a certain way. I saw Torrey Smith doing the local show he does here. And he said, and I don't think anybody caught this, he said the Ravens didn't offer me a contract. And I remember distinctly that they put out there, they offered him a 7-year, $35 million deal. Because I'm like, that is similar to exactly what San Francisco offered him. But he said, yeah, they really didn't offer me a deal. So while we think that this team is out here putting in the best efforts, putting their best foot forward to get the better players, they're really not doing it. It's all a facade. It's all what we put out in the media is how we spin it. That's why we have Mink and Garrett Downing and Clifton Brown and all them putting out these nonsense articles, and everybody's like, yeah, the Ravens. But behind closed doors, you got dudes saying, don't go there. It's not what it used to be. That's why we can't sign people. But the spin on it is nobody wants to play with Lamar. That's the spin that they put on it. Oh, they don't want to go play with Lamar because he can't throw. BS. Right. Lamar is the only reason people will want to come to here. But then you got Harbaugh sitting there looking smug, talking about, I want no receivers. You want to care about your stats? Don't come here.
You pay that man, and he'll be your biggest recruiter.
What?
Folks in the league love that dude.
Right, but you also have to look at it like this, Coach. You are the most dynamic player in the Ravens history. Mm-hmm. All you've done is win, and this team is negotiating with you to get a contract done. If I'm Joe Blow and I'm just an average player, why would I want to come to this franchise? Because I know you're not going to pay me. You're not going to do anything to help me get my stats. I saw what you did with Hollywood Brown because he started. He was on Pro Bowl track 2 years ago. He was at the beginning of the season. He was on track for the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. Then they started changing it up and calling screens for him. They stopped running him in the routes because they was like, you're getting a little too expensive. Yeah. And I truly believe
that ain't his game.
And they were sabotaging him because they knew he was going to want too much money.
Hitches and slants is not Hollywood game.
Right.
Hollywood need to run like 4 routes: a go, a deep post corner, and maybe a slant or 2 9-10 when it's man coverage.
Right. But this team lacks leadership and they lack toughness. Like, listen, you tell me a time when Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, Suggs, and Haloti Ngata were around that Tennessee would have came and danced on our logo. You tell me when that would have happened.
It would have been all out brawl.
While the whole team in the locker room playing.
All out brawl.
That's all I'm saying.
Even if it happened and they weren't out there, when they got out there, it'd have been some smoke in the city.
Right. But we soft now. I think Roquan and unfortunately Marcus Peters. I think they were 2 dudes that still played like a Raven.
Hey, come on now. My dude might be sensitive on Twitter.
Who?
But when he bring the wood.
Oh, you talking about Whiffs McGruff? Yeah, okay. Oh no. I
hate you sometimes. Rodney. Go ahead, Rodney.
I would say yes and no. I think it's definitely tarnished within the Ravens flock community because Ravens fans bought into that whole mystique of the Ravens. Play like a Raven never meant anything. They don't play any different than the other 31 teams in the NFL. Like they go out there and they play tackle football. They've never been a better organization than the other 31 teams in the NFL. Like, they have their ups and downs like everybody else. They're dirtbags dealing with players just like everybody else, but they do the PR of making you think that's not the case. Making you think that somehow, we're better with the players. We're more transparent with the players. We're more honest to the players and all this stuff. It's all BS. And it always has been BS. I think that they did a great job selling that to the Ravens fan base, which, and when you have guys like Ray and Ed and Suggs and Nada, and you win those couple of Super Bowls, of course you'll buy in. Why wouldn't you? It's the same thing. It's the same as buying into the Patriot way. What's the Patriot way? They're cheaters. What does the Patriot way mean? It doesn't mean anything. There are 32 teams in the NFL. All the organizations are exactly the same. All of them play exactly the same. It doesn't mean anything. It's just branding. So I think it's tarnished within the Ravens community, but outside of the Ravens community, I don't think so.
Tanja threw a good point out there. He said Marlon went to the Pro Bowl and tried to recruit every player, and they said, "Are the Ravens paying Lamar?" That was a question that, he was like, "Come to the Ravens, or y'all paying Lamar?" And which is a legit question because they know without him, it's tough. Jordan, who's off on Twitter, is my man Patrick Queen.
Feelings, McGill.
Had you not donated $2, Jordan, I would have ignored the crap out of that comment. It's Patrick Queen.
That dude blocks so many people.
The people are upset because Queen keeps his timeline pro Queen. That's he keeps his timeline pro Queen,
as he should,
and he should. He got to protect his peace.
How, Coach?
You got to protect his peace. Listen. Patrick Queen is a starting linebacker on an NFL team. He don't give a good goddamn what any one of you think.
You sure?
Now, if you're gonna praise him, cool. Come on down. Well, if you're gonna talk, be talking shit, then get the hell out. What are you here for?
That means he cares then.
Right.
It just means he don't want to see it.
One time somebody was just like, "Man, you missed 3 tackles this game." Block. That's like he ain't even seen it.
I don't what's funny?
Don't want to hear it, buddy.
You know what's funny? And I don't know if y'all saw this or not.
Talk about the 5 tackles I made.
What's my guy that be taking the pictures? The first 48. It's not 48, it's 60. Trippy. So he good with Mr. Costa.
Hold on, which one is that?
Trippy, the dude, he says he be going to all the games.
The one that
we always be talking to the players, right? And wherever the players come in.
You talking to Greg Roman?
Yeah. So anyway, he good with Mr. Costa, and she put Marlon in a thread with him and basically asked why he blocked. And Marlon came back and said he ain't really do nothing. I just don't want to see him on my thread, on my timeline. And that's kind of where Queen at.
That ain't Queen, Coach. Queen has at least 200 people blocked.
So
you
should have more.
201.
You should have
first of all, Coach, you the one that made a statement about him being Twitter soft.
He is.
You call him Patricia.
I did not call him.
Not tonight. Not tonight. You didn't.
I didn't call it. Was a slip up one time about 8 months ago.
It was a slip up from whose mouth?
Was it a slip up when you call him Dairy Queen?
No, that's Mr. J. I don't call him Dairy Queen.
You called him Dairy Queen too.
I do not. That's Mr. J. I've never called him Dairy Queen.
If you're green, you're in. That's what I feel like. If you're green, you're in. If Mr. J called him Dairy Queen and you laughed, you.
Oh no, that was funny as I don't know what.
Hey, P. Brandon dropped 10. Appreciate your P. He said, I think the Ravens brand needs new everything. Owner, GM, coach, Well, the president don't do nothing. The president of NFL team got to be the cushiest job ever, because they not involved in contract negotiations. They're not involved in player personnel. They just the president of the team. They work on the stuff that we see, we don't see. Like if you at the game, all that stuff that going on the sideline between timeouts, the president work on that stuff. So I need that job. I need to be the president of a team, so I can get that nice 6-figure salary, nice house, nice car, and do absolutely nothing of significance with the team. But whoever holds a high position, these guys don't want championships; they want jobs. Now you ain't never lie about that, cuz somebody said Harbaugh is the best self-preservationist of all time. You said a mouthful right there, P. I appreciate it. Let's see. We got one more slide. And so we're gonna pivot a little bit. Make sure I ain't miss nobody. Make sure. Give me a second. We're gonna pivot a little bit from Ravens news because chill.
Got a soft serve.
Chill. No, I'm laughing at this.
I'm laughing at soft serve.
Chill. It's another word that go behind. It's like 4 letters that go behind tender. And a lot of males, every male has one. So it's chill. Golly.
Dang.
It be your own people, man.
It do.
It be your own people. Now I gotta hear this. I gotta go in another room and hear this.
But it was hilarious though.
It is funny. It is funny. Let me add this last one.
Now we all gonna be blocked.
No, we ain't. Hopefully we ain't. 500 million. There's rumors going around. I'm trying to get the right screen up. There you go. That this dude potentially could get $500 million. Potentially get $500 million. This is Justin Herbert, if you don't know, quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. Most of us know about his failings and shortcomings as an NFL starter so far, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why I dislike the out of this MFer.
Wow.
Now, let me get myself on the screen.
But you like Queen.
First of all,
and crochet, right?
Hold on. When you hear let me tell my story first.
Okay.
Let me tell my story first. First of all, the SOB should have not been a starter that fast.
Facts.
Because his own freaking team sabotaged Tyrod Taylor to give him a shot. How do your own team doctor puncture your lungs?
They shanked him.
Your own team doctor. Now, not saying he would not have been as good as he is eventually, but the Sun Gun should not have been in the game at the expense of Tyrod Taylor. That should have been Tyrod's time to see if he belongs or not. Because in a bunch of places he's been behind people, and like in some places he come in, you automatically behind person because they pay him more money. But that was his time. He had a rookie behind him. It was his job, and eventually Rube's gonna take over. But it shouldn't have happened like that. I dislike him for it. And then he probably had nothing to do with it. He just was the
beneficiary. Probably.
He didn't, coach.
Like,
but I also dislike.
He put the word out.
You think they put the needle in and Justin gave a push from behind?
Brandon Staley?
Huh?
You talking about Brandon Staley?
No. The black dude.
Anthony Lynn.
They allowed that crap to go on. And keep in mind, this is the year they was on Hard Knocks too. So everybody got a close-up view of what was going on. So I dislike the crap out of him. 1, because of that, and 2, because he ain't did crap to be worth $500 million. But what'd you think about that, Hendo?
Listen, I had not heard about it till you mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I was like, it's about right. It's about right. He's the right tone. He's the right one to set that tone. It's clear, people, what's going on, because the thing for me is with Lamar, the first thing that they always bring up is his playoff record. That's the first thing they bring. Oh, Lamar's 1-3 in the playoffs. Why does he deserve all this money? He can't even win a playoff game. But when it comes to Justin Herbert, who had up until this year blown it every year and not made the playoffs, then got to the playoffs and blew the lead to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions. But it's not held against him because he's the prototypical size. He has a strong arm. He's what the NFL and most people want their quarterbacks to look and sound like.
Yep.
So it's okay for him to get the money. Plus, another thing is he's not a Baltimore Raven. And don't think that it's people outside of the organization that don't lead the charge against Lamar is not worth it. It'd be your own people.
Yep.
It'd be your own people. But up in Los Angeles, they know Justin Herbert is our team. And now I'm not saying he's worth $500 million, but he's going to get his fully guaranteed or mostly guaranteed contract in upwards of $300 million. And nobody over there is going to say a word. Nobody around the NFL is going to say a word. And it's going to be okay. His playoff record is not going to be brought up, because now when I hear it and somebody says, but he can't win a playoff game. Oh, he needs help. He doesn't have the offensive talent around him. Rashawn Slater got hurt. It's always an excuse for him. But when we say that about Lamar, is you need help. If you're supposed to be so good, why don't you will it to happen yourself? It's always a different dichotomy when you start dealing with black quarterbacks versus white quarterbacks. So Justin Herbert's going to get his money. Burrow's going to get his money. I think Howie Roseman is going to make sure Jalen Hurts gets his money, because Howie don't care. Howie's like, if you deserve to be paid, I'm going to get you paid.
But I think Like when Burrow gets his outrageous number, I ain't gonna trip about it.
Nobody's going to trip.
But the thing is, Herbert ain't did half the crap Burrow done.
So the excuse for Herbert is he's setting records. Now he may not have the playoff wins, but when it comes to the yardage and the touchdowns, he's getting it done. He's on a historic pace. So that's the justification for him. But when it comes to Lamar, it's the playoff wins. It's not the winning percentage. It's not that he leads his team in rushing and passing and all the other stuff that he does. It's that he doesn't get playoff wins. So it'll be kudos and, hey, Justin Herbert has an agent, so this is why he got that money. Right.
Brian.
Facts.
Look, I mean, I'm not going to participate in the Justin Herbert slander that's going on the stream and in the chat. Justin Herbert is crazy talented.
He is.
Like, they would be absolutely insane to do the Baltimore Raven to play like a Raven, if you will, with Justin Herbert's money. All right, he deserves every bit of that. It's just the fact that Lamar deserves his money too. I mean, I'm not going to say another player shouldn't get what they deserve because Lamar's not getting what he deserves. They both deserve it. And get rid of Brandon Staley and get rid of Keenan Allen and get some more people in there, and you'll see the Justin Herbert's work.
You say Keenan Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll see the real. You know what? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, B. Mike Williams played out of his mind last year, and if it's not for him
and Austin Eckler
doing this on a lot of people, Herbert wouldn't have those records because there were a lot of balls he threw that probably should have been interceptions.
Well, but to be fair, when you have players like that who can make those plays, you throw the ball up.
True. Yeah. You're right.
You don't do that when you're out there throwing it to Tyler Wallace.
All fact.
But yeah, no, look. Keenan Allen is talented too, but he's just he's getting older and he's always injured. So I say get somebody else in there. But they need a little fixing up. They got a lot of talent, but they're kind of like the Ravens. They've got a Steve Saunders problem. They get that fixed up, and if they stay healthy, they'll be extremely competitive.
There's no way they shouldn't be competitive with. Well, I'm just gonna name out a couple of names: Derwin James,
always hurt.
Bosa,
always hurt.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to piggybacking off your Steve Saunders thing. Yeah. Those three guys on your team, you should.
Yes, Asante Samuel.
So they need to look at that strength and conditioning room, that training room, because like you said, I mean, they did puncture Tyrod Taylor's lung. I'm not gonna attach malice to it like you did. I think that they're very bad at their jobs, and if they clean that out, maybe we'll see a different Chargers team.
Jose.
Yeah, I agree with B. I love Justin Herbert. I think he deserves the money, and I think going back to my statement earlier. This is why the Ravens can't be dumb about this, because the Chargers are going to pay him. I believe that story. I think the question will be how much guarantee will it be, but I think that number will be ridiculously high as well. And Joe Burrow's number is going to be ridiculously high, and I think Hurts is going to get paid really well as well. The Ravens can't be this stupid to be the only team that doesn't pay their quarterback.
Oh, might I add one more thing?
Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes has to go back to the table after the season.
Yeah,
I know everybody's talking about his 10-year deal and all this money. He's going back and he's about to get paid.
And I bet you we don't hear a word about it until he just gets his money. Because that's how the first deal happened. We didn't know, like there's no talk about them talking about it. They just called him and said, "Hey, would you like some money? Like a lot of it? Yes, here you go." All right. I think it's gonna be the same thing this time.
Chris.
Yeah, like you guys said, I'm all about Herbert getting his money, but I better know about his sleeping habits. I better know about his eating habits. I better know about his friends, his work ethic. I want to know everything about this young man, the way that they do it with Lamar, because it's funny how questions about maturity or lack of maturity or preparation or just being a leader. It's funny how all of that is brought up during contract time. Yeah. Now, who benefits from that?
The team.
And it's like, Lamar is unprofessional for, putting this statement out right before Harbaugh goes on. And it's like, well, you sitting back and you seeing all of this passive aggressive stuff go on through the media. It's not the Ravens aren't going to come out and be like, "Oh yeah, this is what Lamar is." That's not going to happen. They work through the media,
Right.
so when you see all of this stuff coming out and you're Lamar, you're sitting at home, you're like, "All right, I can play that game. I got a few tricks up my sleeve that I can do." So, I know when all this Herbert stuff, I'm saying it tongue in cheek because we know it won't happen the way it is with Lamar. When it comes to all of this background stuff, we know that won't happen. That's not the case. That's usually never the case.
Right.
When it comes to the white quarterbacks, it gets done and everybody's happy, and we don't hear about this stuff. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is taking drugs and doing all of this stuff, and nobody's like, "Oh my gosh, how can you pay him this much money?" Like, or he can't lead anybody. It's just like, oh yeah, that's crazy old Aaron Rodgers, hippie Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's just him. If Lamar would have said that, they would have thrown him in jail.
Facts. The thing is, they living off the past. Aaron is not what he used to be, and is Aaron exactly what we thought he was because of Devontae.
Yeah.
KP donated $1. He says Herbert's definitely getting $300 million with $235 guaranteed. They'll be cool with giving him more guarantees than Deshaun, but that's not the case for LJ for some reason. Facts, KP.
It ain't some reason. This is of reason.
What you say is the reason.
We know the reason.
So, with that being said, man, it's a great show. We're gonna get everybody to tell where you can find them if you were not here at the beginning of the show. We're gonna do that at this time. We'll start with you, Chris. Where can they find your work?
You can find me on Twitter at Chris Just Joking. You could find me on the Deep Cover Pod and also on YouTube at also under Deep Cover Pod.
All right, Hendo.
You can find me on YouTube at The Rogue Pod. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at the same name. You can also find me every Saturday night doing Hanging with Hendo every Friday evening at 6 p.m. with my man, Mr. Galloway, on Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, talking all things hip-hop, especially old school. We have a couple countdowns, a little list that we go through. Make sure you drop out. Also, you can catch me on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. with my man Suge Knight on his channel with his co-host Brodney doing a Steel Conspiracy.
So first of all, I'm not the co-host. Second of all, it's 9:15.
Hold on.
Only the co-host would know that.
Before you guys run up out of here like y'all do, hit the like button before you leave.
Thanks.
Hit the like button before you leave.
Yes.
And if you do subscribe.
They got to subscribe to be in the chat.
Oh, okay. Cool. Tell your friends and family and loved ones to subscribe. Yes, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Overtime Show, which you can find on patreon.com/LBHT show. Also, everywhere that you listen to an audio podcast, you can find us. You can also find all these gentlemen here wherever you listen to podcasts. Also on our website, we package it nice and neat for you guys to find everybody. Go to lbhtshow.com. You can check it out over there. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. I'll let B handle the Ring King stuff.
Wow, thank you. And we also do a boxing podcast with the other member of the Roundup OTR Mike called Ring Kings Podcast. We put out episodes Mondays at noon when we do. And when there are events, we stream live on those Saturday nights. We just had a live stream over for the David Benavidez and Caleb Plant fight. It was an excellent card overall. This weekend, Anthony Joshua is fighting.
Heavyweight?
Probably not streaming for that one, but
we're gonna talk about it.
The following week, Israel Adesanya against Alex Pereira, the rematch. Will be live streaming on the Lunch Break Hot Take for that one, and then a couple weeks after that, April 22nd, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, probably the biggest fight of the year. So we'll definitely be live streaming after that. And it might be late, but that pay-per-view does cost $85. So if you don't want to spend that, come through after the fight's over. We'll tell you all about it.
Got it.
Thanks.
Appreciate the 5 El Mega. Appreciate you. He didn't leave a comment, but thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Hendo? No, we went Hendo.
I mean, I
Is
ain't
everybody?
finished, but, you know.
So it's on me.
And you
OTR
can find us all at Ring Kings Pod on all platforms.
So
Well, I'll
last
plug-
but not least, hold on.
I'll
let
put
me get to
Mikey's
it.
stuff.
Go ahead. I'm ready now.
Yeah. Open mic with OTR Mike, where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter who it is, where it is, or what it is. I'm not sure if I got that order correct, but it's something like that.
Hey, he was in the chat box earlier. Appreciate you, Mike.
Yes. And his episodes usually drop on Monday. He did a live stream. He did 2 live streams last week. I got one up on the audio side. The other audio is going to drop soon. Mikey's been working hard behind the scenes. So he's back on his grind every Monday, first thing in the morning, 5 a.m. You'll see those episodes drop.
So Brandon, get up off my man case, Brandon.
Facts.
Isaiah, get up off Mikey case. He's been putting in that work.
Yes.
And as for me, you know you're here, so you're at Sip the Tally Films. You can catch me here randomly, but definitely here on Monday nights at 9:00. And also, if you don't know, the new show premiered today. It's Ravens Daily with myself, Coach Evans, call-in show. Different topics, different days, and I had a different topic for tomorrow, but I think it's trending toward a similar topic tomorrow. But we'll see how the comments keep going, because I've been getting a lot of people saying they want to call in and talk about what happened today. So we may venture into the news from today again tomorrow, but there's a topic there on my community page. I put the topic out there, and there's a chance for you to get your comment highlighted, and be one of the Jane Doe comments of the day. If you put, what you want to say on the community page, but then call in, get in line. Again, the rules are kind of, it's a 4:30 to 5:00 show. But who's ever on the phone lines at 5, you still get a chance to talk. So if it goes over 5, I'm not going to cut you off and end the show. If you're in the queue at 5:00, when I lock the conference, you'll still get a chance to say your piece. And today was a great opening show.
It was
a great opening show. Like at the end, and just to see how many people was in there, how many people supported me, I almost cried. But I'm like Pinky. It was almost heavy. I held my own. But I held my own. But so that's tomorrow at 4:30, and then that's Wednesday at 4:30 also. And depending on how that thing goes, we may add a day. And once the season get here, we may add the full week and be, regular 4:30, whatever. But if that goes well, I ain't gonna say that. If that goes
can
well,
I add one more thing, Coach?
Go ahead.
So I saw Jordan Yates hit the super chat. Salute to everybody that hits up the super chat. Don't be afraid to click that link in the chat box. Don't be scared. All right. That's going to be the new way of doing super chats over here. Get acclimated to it. Get comfortable with it. Okay, it works just the same. And you get the nice animation across Coach's screen. That's a better way to support Coach.
Yeah. So basically, what's going on? If you don't know, so like Jordan said, did y'all realize Bateman called out EDC on March 2nd too?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we did.
That's a good point.
We didn't, and I wonder if he knew. I'm
That's
sure
why.
he did.
He was frustrated.
I'm sure he did. But I was about to say was like Jordan just donated 5. I'll probably see 350 of that 5.
Yep.
350 of that 5. So that's why all of us are pushing people to the if you hit the link and go to the either Stream Elements or Stream Labs, because this is different. Then not Snapchat, Cash App. You guys know how that works. You know how that works, and the PayPal works too. So that's kind of why we keep mentioning those things. We ain't just trying to beat it across your head, but it helps us out to grow and to do more things. Like if you guys use those links, and that helps Hendo to get that thing that keeps shining in the light, so he can use it, to deliver to the winner of his thing.
Yeah.
This whole thing?
Yeah,
that little thing.
It ain't done, it ain't done.
But again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Oh, I forgot hold on. We can't forget about the streets. We got to talk about the streets.
We got to talk about the streets.
Let me get here. More Sip the Tally. It's for the streets. 31 other people come over there. 31 other teams to come over there and get your fulfillment of what's going on. Now, I will say this. More Sip the Tally is probably going to be neglected a little bit this week, because this is wide receiver week. And we need a wide receiver. So I've been putting all wide receivers on this channel. So More Sip the Tally will get Gibbs probably tomorrow. That's the running back from Alabama. But for the rest of the week, receivers. First dude up is who, Jose?
I got Charlie. I don't want to say his name too loud.
First dude up, Charlie Jones. If you're a Patreon, there's a full film on Charlie Jones there. I did it during my lunch break today when
he's a
when
secret weapon.
was squirming from the Lamar situation. That's why I was late to the table. So if you're a Patreon, that's where the full videos are. And become a patron. I got 3 tiers, 2 of which I'm going to talk about for a minute. The $5 tier gets you into the Discord. If you want to talk ball or talk anything, the Discord is the place to be. All of us have a Discord, and sometimes the comments, it gets too much. It gets fast and furious. But in the Discord, everybody in there. Yeah. Everybody in there. We all talking ball, or talking about life, or what we do best, cracking jokes.
That is facts.
Yes.
Oh, Joe, with another super chat.
Oh, salute, Jordan. Salute.
Appreciate it. I ain't came up yet, but appreciate it. And the $10 tier, my gunslinger tier, gets you everybody all in unison.
The chalice.
Get you a chalice. Mike has one too. He just wasn't on here today.
Yep.
And it gets you that, and it also gets you the potential to win the loyalty award for the month. Like Brandon won it last week. Will G won it a week before that. I got a couple other guys that won it, but now, in order to win the loyalty points for the month, you got to be a patron. Got to be a patron and do that.
How many points do I get for being on the stream every week?
Facts.
That's a good question.
Facts.
That's a good question.
We don't get no points for that, Coach.
if your chat, like my chat box to the side, I'm like 3rd this year. I mean this month. I'm like 3rd this month. So if you got it open and because what I do is, even though while y'all talking sometimes,
you be in the chat.
Yeah, so I'm getting.
I didn't know that's why you.
I knew that. I didn't know that's the reason. I didn't know.
No, I've seen him in the chat. I'm saying I didn't know that was why. That's dirty, Coach. You ain't even.
I'll be like that. I'll be like this. Jordan said, what do you think Jordan got? And more belts. Don't worry, I'll start doing it the other way. Hey, appreciate it, Jordan. Now, we wasn't trying to call you out, but just was trying to put that belt down. Put Jose's belt down.
This is my belt. This got my picture on it.
Hey, this time next year, I'm gonna be looking like Canelo and be the undisputed champ. Belts everywhere.
Yeah, son.
Hey, I appreciate all y'all, man, for coming through. Appreciate you guys for being on here. Again, hit that like button before you get up out of here. And see, I told you, when we started doing the outros, cats be out.
We
went from 160 people in here.
We went from 260 to 154.
Hey, salute to the 160 in here.
Hold on. Like Daniels, super quality content. You guys are some of the best to do it. We thank you. Thank you, Black Daniels.
Thank you,
appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it. And we'll be here next Monday. And again, don't forget Ravens Daily Tuesday and Wednesday at 4:30. Lunch break hot take at 7:15 on Wednesday. Chris, when y'all dropping?
TBD.
Hendo gave you his schedule. Definitely Saturday. Hanging with Hendo is different. It's different. You get a different side of everybody. You get a personal side of people. You get to hear part of their life that you normally wouldn't hear about when we just talking about football all the time. So hanging with Hendo is different. If you have not caught the episode, please go do so. Even if you're not there live, we want you there live because it's more interactive. But even if you're not there live, watch the recap and go from there, because I had a great time last week and the week before that, and I think I'm gonna be a watcher this week. And I might just pop in depending on how much purple Kool-Aid I have. And again, to get you one of these, Gunslinger member of the Patreon. And these are my guys. This is our Monday show. Appreciate you guys. See y'all tomorrow at 4:30. See you Tuesday with Hendo,
Rodney,
Suge, and Brodney's Suge's co-host Brodney.
Thanks.
Man. You gonna cheat me out the points and then do me like that?
Well, Hendo said you was my favorite.
He is.
How you my favorite? Who the second favorite then?
I'm the second favorite. That's only because I opened my box first.
Hey, the funny thing is, Chris been here. He just ain't know it.
Whoa.
He ain't check his man because we get the the confirmation when it's delivered. He just ain't check his mail. That's why I text everybody today. But it is what it is, and I think Mike's good too, and we'll see Mike next time. So hopefully he'll drop his chalice in one of his episodes with open mic with OTR Mike. So again, appreciate everybody. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And remember, somebody said this earlier. Me and Hendo started that. We love Nitro, but he got that from us. But it's a great way to salute everybody for coming through.
Hold up, what he steal?
He basically said what
Everything.
No, he basically just said Nitro good people with me. Nitro good people with me.
I'm just
What did he
teasing.
steal? What did he steal?
No, he's just saying you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Now he ain't said exactly like that, but it is a good way to end because they could have been doing anything. They could have been watching XFL, but they chose to be here with us.
Somebody's gonna do that.
Come on, man. I was trying to you messing up my flow.
My bad, son. Shut up.
We supposed to be brothers.
We supposed to be brothers.
What movie that's from?
Minister Society. Who you, Coach? Stop. Don't insult us like that.
You don't like Usher, so I had to check you. And we out.
Peace.